Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. I do this show each week. I have guests, I have friends, I have artists, I have people I respect. But every now and then, I'm going to have family on the show.
Yeah.
And my brother is not only the funniest man on the internet, he done took it to stand up and to movies. Haha Davis started out making videos online. Now with over 7 million followers and newly announced film, Stealing Jokes, he's everywhere. And I'm proud of my brother. Please, it's an honor to welcome Carlos Haha Davis to the Renaissance Man. Good to see you, family.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that way you introduced it. You hyped me up. You took me to another level.
No doubt. That's how we got to do it. And I must say this I got to ask questions like I don't know the answers because I got to get this audience to get to know you and you killing them. In the New York Post, I'm going to not only do a podcast, but write an article about you. I have to ask you, what was it like growing up on the east side of Detroit?
Man, the East Side of Detroit really just was obviously, we come from like poverty and gang violence and stuff like that. But the East Side taught us how to hustle. Like I
Mm.
don't think I could have been from nowhere else and learned how to hustle the way I learned how to hustle. We out hustle everybody around the world. I don't think nobody in the world can hustle like people from the East Side or the West Side of Detroit. Just Detroit, period.
When did you know not only that you were funny, but being funny could be a lifestyle and you could make a living out of it?
I think when I knew I was funny was like 2015 when I got with Snoop. When Snoop was the first celebrity to follow me. I was
Dope.
like, okay, maybe I might be funny a little bit. I didn't start making money off of it till like 2017, 2018. I had like 3.5 million followers, but I was living in my mom's basement,
Mm.
not making no money at all. But like 2018 was when I was like, okay, maybe this thing might change my life for real through downloading a free app.
Talk to me about the years where you were pursuing your career, but as you mentioned, still grinding, living in your mother's basement. What was it like? Give encouragement to the young, up and coming entrepreneurs, entertainers, comedians who are right now hoping to pursue their careers,
Yes,
but
sir.
they're also living in their mother's basement.
For me, the only thing I would tell them that I stick to all the time is never allow nobody to tell you what you can't do. Because when I was down there grinding for 3.5 years, she was telling me, "Hey, it's time to go for you to go get a job. It's time to get a job." Like, mom, it's gonna pop off for me. But even when I thought it was gonna pop off, it still didn't pop off. It popped off maybe 6 months after that. So I say, now don't even let your mom tell you what you can't do. I mean, obviously we got to listen to our parents, but
No doubt.
we can't allow them to tell us what our dreams are.
So, as an entrepreneur and entertainer, I have to ask, when you're watching television shows growing up, what were some of the things that you enjoyed watching and the ones that inspired you?
Probably like cartoons or just like shows in general.
All of the above. You had the remote control in your hand, and I know you from the east side,
Yeah.
and the TV that worked was sitting on top of the TV that didn't work. What was you
Right.
watching?
What's crazy? Like we taking it back in time. My mom used to watch a lot of Matlock. A lot of people don't remember
Mm,
Matlock. Matlock was a
classic.
classic. Like I
Yeah.
used to be watching Matlock all the time. It got a point where I wanted to just go out and just start investigating things on my own. Like like I was a big Matlock fan. Yeah, I was watching Matlock. Obviously, a lot of cartoons that we grew up on. You know what I mean? But Matlock was like one of the shows that I would tune in, and I was a kid watching it.
What about movies? Some of the favorite movies that inspired you as it related to comedy.
Um, I gotta say, like, because Minister Society was the original movie, but
Mm,
Drinking Juice in the Hood was like one of my classics.
no doubt. That's a classic.
Like Minister Society, Drinking Juice in the Hood, that was a classic in my book. Like it was like one of the original movies I seen. Like, bro, I really need to be a part of something like that.
That was hilarious. I remember that the Wayans put it down, not only with their family, and I remember Martin being filmed out of Detroit. Like so many classic comedy stand-ups. So what are some of your favorite stand-ups of people that you inspired by growing up?
Definitely, it got to be Martin. Got to be number one on my list because Martin changed the game. As far as like
Mm.
when you're talking about like skits and scripted comedy, he was like one of the originals. I mean, I know you had like In Living Color, but like Martin was like one of the first guys to like do it independently on his own. But my comedy was more like Bernie Mac. I love rest in peace
Mm.
Bernie Mac. I was a diehard Bernie Mac fan to this day. Like I still quote Bernie Mac, and I think my comedy more like Bernie Mac's
I
was.
ain't scared of you, mother.
I ain't scared of you. You know what's going on. Like
And,
that.
and,
That was him letting y'all know like I'm here now. I have arrived.
and also, so not only growing up like looking up to people like Bernie Mac, but now you starring in films with Mike Epps and
Yeah,
Cat Williams. How
absolutely.
crazy it'll be on set with them, like setting up your own skits. And what
Yeah.
is your best memory as an actor so far?
My best memory would probably be like Cat, and Mike, cause Mike he was more one of them guys who he was always funny and he was always, you know what I mean, kicky. But like Cat Williams more than one of them guys who he went to the car like he wasn't you ain't about to get no jokes out of him. Cat was like he was like Cat, he wasn't bullying me on set, but he was pulling my coattail every time I would say something. So any joke that would come out of my mouth be like, no, that ain't it. This, that, and the third. But I'm thinking that he just didn't like me. But it was more like he was just being like that big brother. You know, when you're a rookie in the
Oh,
NFL,
yes,
he was
yes,
treating me like that. But then
yes.
at the end of the movie, he came to my trade. He was like, "Bro, I'm a fan," and it was
That's
just dope
dope.
to see that. It
That's
was dope to
dope.
see that.
So, what is it like for you? Because I remember I just recorded, and you're going to be proud of your OG. I
Yeah,
just recorded an episode of BMF
classic. We need that.
in the D at the Fox with Meech. But
Oh my God.
I can't front. I was looking around. I was the only person taking the paper out of his pocket trying to still remember their lines.
See
So,
the
what is it
thing.
like for you as an actor?
Yeah, for me, like the thing I learned is that you got to remember the line before your line. That's how I remember all my lines. So if I know
Mm,
what line it is before my line, I know where I'm going next. That's how I learned how to remember my lines. But like for me, like now, I mean, it's kind of more it's easy because a lot of times when you're on set, well, in comedy movies, the director most times he gonna rewrite what you already thought you knew.
mm.
Like the more action packed, they gonna leave that for what it is. But when you doing a comedy, you as a comedian, as a director, your mind is always racing. Like, how we gonna scratch that? Wait, I've been learning these lines for 2 days. Hold
Right,
on, you know what I mean?
right.
But I'm always prepared, ready to go with my lines.
One of the things that people that now are fans of yours because you've done a great job of just like extending your brand. And shout out to my brother Envy and your team
Yeah,
from the east side of Detroit who stand up for you. You know, I got a chance to come on your show, got a chance to
yeah,
break bread, and you know, we family. But
absolutely.
one of the things about your journey is the one with fitness. And I
Yeah,
have to ask you, because I talk about this with athletes all of the time. Like we were just talking about Zion Williamson. He did a 360 and people was talking about his weight. And so
mhm.
I have to ask you, like, what is the difference in yourself when you look in the mirror now versus how you saw and felt yourself before you started that journey?
The difference now is that I'm confident. The confidence level went to a whole nother level because I'm a smaller guy. I'm 5'6", 201 pounds, looking like a ball of meat. This ain't gonna work.
All of me.
So now I done lost 50 pounds. Like when I look in the mirror now, I'm confident. I feel great. Like one of my goals is I want to be Michael B. Jordan in this game. I want to be
Mm,
considered a sex symbol too. Like
no
okay,
doubt.
even if y'all don't love me like that, oh, the women gonna come watch me because like oh I want to see high because we love him.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? I'm trying to really become one of those guys in the industry, like funny, charming, and he's great at what he do, which is acting.
And also, you got to be the kind of guy to take off his shirt. So that's I'm
Yeah,
on that too. Like I've been trying to be on my little fashion thing, and I'm like these shirts too small. They like no, they slim fit. I'm like, well, damn, I gotta stay in shape to wear this. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll be looking crazy. So for you, like, say it's a show day,
hmm,
and you got a big set,
right.
and what is your routine like that day? And what is your theme song? What are you getting? What are you wearing? Like, what is it like for you on show day?
show day, like if it's like when it's a big show, like my last show, I did in Detroit. We did the music hall.
I'm so mad I missed it.
Yeah,
I
we
know
brought
you
the
saw I had to work that day. I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you about that. Man,
we
I'm
brought
mad.
we brought the city out, man. It was crazy. But
Man.
but the day of the show, like I'm in my room. I'm not really leaving the room too much. Like NBA, he'll bring my food up. You know what I mean? Something to drink, and then I'm just in the room watching TV a little bit. But every show, I'm gonna throw the Jordan ones on, the Nike
Mm,
socks. You know what I mean? Some comfortable
mhm,
jogging pants, and then like a
mhm,
nice shirt. But right when it's time to go, what I'm listening to, people don't know I'm only listening to Chance, and this song came out 6, 7 years ago. Summer
mhm,
Friends, Chance the Rapper.
mhm.
Like that's one of my class. I was on that album, so it's like I really locked in with that song. Like when I'm headed to the shows, that's the only song I can hear. I don't hear nothing else. It's like one of my lock in songs.
That's dope. And I have to ask, and I'm a huge fan of all areas comedy.
Yeah,
And as an entertainer and as a commentator, like I have to say things about people that they don't like. And sometimes people get mad at me. Players sometimes be mad at me. I have to ask you, like, has there been somebody that you told jokes about that got mad at you?
uh, I think they might not say that they mad, but I watch a lot of like I do a lot of voiceovers on boxing and UFC. I watch a lot of them boys hit the unfollow button. I say, okay, he's hurt. He ain't like that one. Well, they might not tell me personally, but I be knowing like, okay, he ain't like that one too much.
So, like, some of my favorite artists and albums also had great skits. The
Yeah.
one of the things I love about you as a follow, and I learned from you as a follow. I was like, I gotta step my game up. Like you're creative, you're smart, you got your third party voices and all of that. So,
Absolutely.
how did you come up with the third party voice? In particular, one of my favorite phrases, "big fella."
Yeah. See, the thing people don't know, Big Fella came because we was on the freeway. Me and Barry was on the freeway one time, and then this Big Mac truck almost slapped into us, and I was just like, "Hold on, Big Fella." And then me and Barry just got to riffing Big Fella jokes that entire night. The next morning, I woke up and I just used it in the skit, and people just took heed to it. So it ain't like nothing that we just sit and come up with. Like a lot of this stuff just be stuff that you see in person or you freestyle and you put it out for the people, and if they love it, then you just keep rolling with it.
So, for you, as it relates to preparing for a stand up. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of people that like say, I want to be in the league playing basketball or I want to do what you do, but they don't know the time you put in and how
Absolutely.
you study
Yeah.
and how you prepare. So for you, if you're about to start writing a skit or a
Mhm.
stand up, what goes into that process?
See, the thing about the skits is like naturally when the camera, like in my mind, I might come up with an idea the night before, and I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I'm shooting this tomorrow. I just know,
Wow.
yeah, I just know the idea I want to shoot, and then whatever comes to my mind, I just keep it, and then I put it out for the people. But stand up, like a lot of these jokes, people. That's why we don't allow cameras at our shows because bro, it take us 2, 3 years to write a lot of these jokes. Like
Mm.
stand up comedy ain't no easy job to do. Like coming up with an hour set, that's
Mm.
2, 3, 4, 5 years of just hard
Mm.
work. I only been doing stand up 6, 7 years, but like the OGs, the Mike Epps, the Chappelles, and all
Mhm.
that, like they've been working on these sets for years, decades. Like
Mhm.
that's why we don't allow
Preach.
cameras at our shows.
Mhm.
It's like if this get out now, I'm out of comedy for 3 years. What I'm finna
Yep.
do? Finna be working at Whole Foods now. Give me 2 years.
Yeah, for real. Because I went to the Chappelle shows when he was in Detroit,
Yeah,
and I saw how much it even changed from the first night to the second night. But
absolutely,
but I also saw how much it changed when it was finally played on Netflix.
definitely.
So tell me about that creative process.
Yeah. Yeah, like see with me, everything I wrote, I think it took me maybe 3 years to get this entire set together. Like, and then when you go on stage, a lot of the jokes might not work. Like you work a lot of your jokes out in front of like me. I had to work my jokes out in front of 3, 4 thousand people because I was
Mm.
already famous. So
Mm.
me
That's
going in front,
tough.
yeah.
That's
So I'm
tough.
I'm in front of three, four
You
thousand
ain't get a
people.
chance to practice in the gym without nobody looking.
I just had to go hoop, Jalen. I just had to
Right.
go hoop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We throwing you in the start lineup right now tonight.
Right.
I done airball 3, 4 times. My fault. I didn't
Wow.
get to go to practice this week.
No
You know,
doubt.
so that's what it was for me. Like being thrown in front of 3, 4 thousand people and having to take my lumps on the chin, like bombing in front of 4 or 5 thousand people. and then going back to the comedy clubs and getting my set right. It took me 3.5 years to like really become a real comedian. See, it's a difference between being funny and being a comedian. I'm a comedian. At
Mm,
first, I was just funny. Now I'm a
mm.
comedian that's funny.
Please explain the difference between being funny and a comedian.
See, being funny is just you going up there and you can rip and say anything funny. Like you right now, Jalen, you can say something funny. But like being a complete comedian is going up there and telling a story and allowing people to come into your world and laughing
Mm,
at it and believing that it is true. That's
mm,
what comedy is like. I mean, most of this stuff is based off like the real life experiences that we went through. I mean, obviously, we might stretch it a little bit and put our little
mhm.
sauce on it, but it'd
No
be like
doubt.
real life situations that we went through that make these things funny to us.
What viral moment did you feel like I arrived?
I think it was Gar. I think they because Gar was like the first time when I said Gar, I said this is crazy. I got Gar, Finna Be a Breeze, and Big Fella in one video. So I
Ooh,
so I really killed the game because I
you
got
was
I got three
killing it.
I got three in one. So it was like I had Guard, Finna Be a Breeze, and Big Fella. And this was like 2016, I believe. It was like my first viral video, 1 million views, 200,000 likes, 20,000 comments. I was like, bro, what's going on? I had never seen them type of numbers like on my page ever. So that was like one of my first viral moment. Like, okay, we here now. We got to keep this going.
No doubt. And before I get into my gone in 60 seconds rapid fire, I
Yeah.
have to ask you this before I let you get out of here. Where can your fans, my people, our people find you? When your shows? When can we download your podcast? Like, tell us what you got going on.
Right now, what I got going on, I'm shooting still in jokes right now. I'm actually on set right now. I said, but
Dope.
I got to get on with my dog. That's the must
Dope.
do.
Appreciate that.
You know, that's family right there. So we had to do
Appreciate
that.
that.
But this our last week of filming, so we on set right now. So y'all got to give me. I got to get on with my family. I got to give me 10 minutes right
That's
quick.
love.
We got to
That's
do this.
love.
Yeah, so I'm shooting
That's
still in
love.
jokes right now. I got my podcast. You can find that at Hi Davis on YouTube. We just did Bobby Smurder. We obviously
Mm,
did you. So we 5 episodes in. I appreciate you being the first one on
no
to ever
doubt.
grace the platform, man. That
No
was
doubt.
dope. Um, Audio is everywhere. You can find audio everywhere. Like anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can find Hi Davis podcast on there. So please, y'all go listen and tune in because we finna really get to work on the podcast. We not finna play. It's finna go down.
It's
Um,
gonna go down.
it's finna
And
go down.
before I let you get out of here, as I mentioned, I have a rapid fire segment
Yeah,
called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do this, Haha Davis?
let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay. So the double XL always had their freshman of the year.
Uh huh.
And they're some of the greatest artists to be a part of that. Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, J. Cole. So I have to ask you, including yourself,
Yeah.
who are the freshmen of the year in comedy?
This year,
Yes, indeed.
obviously me, DC Young Fly, Desi Banks, Drewski, and then you got to go with like a Supreme Dream.
I love it. If you
Yeah.
had to delete all of your social media except one platform, which one are you keeping?
Gotta be Instagram. Instagram is my baby. That's the one that really put me on. But Twitter and Facebook, everything else can go. Even Snapchat, they can keep all of it.
If you had to pick an iconic Detroit landmark that isn't famous, what would you choose?
It's famous, but I think it would have to just be the Giant Slide. The
Ooh,
Giant Slide, that's the one. You gotta
that's
go with
the
the Giant Slide.
one.
If you ain't never burnt your leg up, you ain't never got burnt going down the
No
Giant Slide.
doubt. Ooh,
You ain't
running
from
up and
Detroit.
down the steps, ooh, sliding up and down that. That was so
Hey,
fun.
that walk up the stairs was worth it every time, just for that half of 30 seconds of going down the slide.
No doubt. No, that is classic Detroit right there.
The
But
Giant
if
Slide.
somebody was coming to Detroit, where would you tell them to go eat?
Oh, you got to go straight to the county. You got to get you 2 coney dogs with everything on it, and an 8-piece fried hard with chili and cheese on the side.
And last but not least, you have a lot of rappers who are fans of yours. If you can do the interlude for an entire album, which hip hop star would you choose to do skits on their records?
It'd be Snoop obviously number one, or it'd be Drake number two for me. I love to do some crazy with Drake. I know it'd be dope.
Shout out to the OG Snoop. Shout out to you, my brother, Carlos Ha Ha Davis. Shout out to my
My God.
brother Envy, the east side
Yeah.
of Detroit. We doing this in the New York Post. The Renaissance Man. I appreciate you, family, taking time from set.
I love you, brother. I appreciate you. Anytime. I love you. I appreciate you
That's
having me.
mutual. Love and appreciate you too.